Touch that boat again, and we're gonna have a problem. That's the first thing out of my mouth as I walk down my dock and catch a tow truck driver struggling to loop a chain around my trailer. The guy flinches as if I had just barked a military order at him. But the real show? She's right behind him. Karen, the HOA president, the woman who swings a clipboard like a weapon and talks like she owns the entire zip code. Karen doesn't even blink when she hears me. She plants a hand on her hip and says, loud enough for the fish to hear, "Carl, your boat violates size regulations. It's being removed." End of story. Her voice is sharp enough to slice concrete. I walk closer, slow and steady. "My boat's not going anywhere." Karen laughs, one of those tight corporate laughs people use when they think intimidation is a skill set. "Oh, Carl, don't make this dramatic. You got the notice." "No," I say, "I didn't." "Yes, you did," she snaps. "It's logged in our system." "But not delivered to me," I say. "So your system is lying to you." The tow truck guy tries to speak. Ma'am, are we sure we can?" "Chain it," Karen barks. "Now," he tries, hands shaking, chain rattling. I step in front of him. "Put it down." He does. Karen scoffs. "You can posture all you want, Carl. The sheriff's already on his way. You're in violation." She says it like she's already written my obituary, but she has no idea what she's actually messing with. And the second that the sheriff's car rolled up, her entire plan started unraveling fast. If that grabbed you, go ahead and subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss how spectacularly this backfires on Karen. Sheriff Tom barely gets one boot out of his cruiser before Karen storms toward him like he's late for a performance review. "Sheriff, thank you for coming," she says, waving her clipboard like she's flagging down a plane. Carl is refusing to comply with an official HOA directive. This boat is oversized and must be removed immediately. Tom hasn't even shut his door yet. He adjusts his sunglasses, looks at the tow truck, looks at Karen, looks at me, and then he sighs, one of those long, tired sighs that says he already regrets every life choice that led him to this dock. "Karen, what exactly is the emergency here?" She shoves the clipboard into his chest. "Read it." I logged the violation. It's binding. Tom barely glances at the page. "Logged where?" "In our system," she snaps. He raises an eyebrow. "And delivered to the resident?" Karen freezes for half a second. Then she forces a smile so tight it looks painful. "It doesn't need to be physically delivered." Tom's head tilts. "Yeah, it kinda does," she bristles. "Sheriff, with all due respect, you don't understand HOA protocol." "And with all due respect," he replies, "actual law beats HOA protocol every day of the week." Karen's mouth opens. Nothing comes out, so she changes tactics. "This boat is too big. It's against our standards. It affects the aesthetic of the shoreline." Tom looks at me. "Carl, is this your property?" "Yep." He looks at the water. "Boat registered?" "Yep." He nods once. "Well, that settles it." Karen explodes. "What do you mean that settles it? You're supposed to enforce the law." Tom steps past her and looks the tow truck driver dead in the eye. "Unload the chain." "Pack up, you're done here." The driver practically sprints to disconnect his equipment. Karen goes red, like tomato red, rage red, volcano about to erupt red. "Sheriff Tom, you are obstructing an HOA action?" "No," he says calmly. "I'm stopping you from overstepping." Karen's jaw tightens. Hard, and that's when I see it. The spark of something way bigger was brewing in her eyes. She isn't backing off, she's doubling down, and the move she made next. Yeah, that's when I realized she wasn't just petty. She was plotting something huge. Karen doesn't say a word at first. She just stands there, rigid, silent, calculating. It's the kind of quiet that makes everyone uneasy. Then she lifts her clipboard, taps it once with her pen, and says in a very controlled voice, "Fine, if the sheriff won't enforce compliance, the board will. Expect an updated action notice by the end of the day." Tom folds his arms. "What kind of action notice?" She ignores him completely and turns to the tow truck driver. "You're dismissed. We'll reschedule when the violation is properly documented." The driver nods so fast it's practically a bow, jumps into his truck, and pulls away like he's escaping a crime scene. The moment the truck is gone, Karen steps toward me, too close, too confident. "You can delay this, Carl," she says quietly, "but you can't avoid it." I keep my voice steady. "Karen, nothing about this is valid." "You know that?" Her eyes narrow. "Not yet." Then she walks off. No yelling, no threats, no dramatic exit, just a short, tight stride down the dock like she already has her next move lined up. Tom shakes his head. "She's gearing up for something," he says. "I'd keep your phone on you. I always do. And document everything," he adds. "If she pushes this, you're going to need a paper trail." I nod. I'm already doing that. Karen reaches the top of the dock, pauses, and looks back at us. Not a glance, a stare. Cold, direct, intentional. Then she turns the corner and disappears. Tom looks at me one more time. "Be ready, Carl, she's not done." He's right. I can feel it. This wasn't about a boat. This was the opening move in something bigger, something planned. And I know one thing for certain. Karen is just getting started. And within the next hour, she proved it by sending me a notice so aggressive it didn't even look legal. The notice hits my inbox at 2:17 p.m. sharp. Not a standard HOA email. Not a polite reminder. This document appears to have been drafted by someone who types with anger instead of precision. Subject line: Mandatory enforcement order, immediate action required. I open it. And there it is. A full page, violation claiming my boat is oversized, unsafe, non-compliant, a threat to community standards, and my favorite line: visually disruptive to neighboring property aesthetics. Visually disruptive. My boat is white and blue, it's not a rave, but the part that makes my eyebrow go up, at the bottom in bold. Immediate removal scheduled for 6 a.m. tomorrow. No hearing, no notice period, no appeal window, just we're taking your property at dawn. I call Tom. "Hey, Sheriff, got a minute?" He sounds exhausted. "Please tell me she didn't." "Oh, she did." I sent him the email. He whistles softly through the phone. "Carl, this isn't standard, not even close." I figured. This reads like she's trying to provoke something. None of this would hold up legally. "Can you stop her from trying again?" A pause. "I can stop illegal activity," he says slowly, "but I can't stop her from acting like she runs the universe." Great. As I'm rereading the notice, another email comes in. A second order. Not from the board, not signed by anyone, just a single line. "Compliance is not optional. Remove it yourself or it will be removed for you." That's when something shifts in me. This isn't Karen enforcing rules. This is Karen testing limits. I look out at the lake, my boat, my dock, and I realize she's not just after a win. She's after control. And she didn't wait long, because that same evening she showed up at my property in person with backup. Confrontation and tension. I hear them before I see them. 3 sets of footsteps, purposeful, sharp. 2 synchronized to be a coincidence. Then Karen rounds the corner into my yard, clipboard in hand, expression locked and loaded. And behind her are 2 HOA board members I've only seen once or twice, both carrying matching folders like they're part of some corporate raid team. Karen doesn't wait for me to speak. "We're conducting an emergency compliance check," she announces. "Stand aside." I blink once. "No," she pushes her glasses up with one finger, her version of cracking her knuckles. "Carl, this isn't optional." One of the board guys steps forward and reads from his folder like he's auditioning for a courtroom drama. "Per HOA subsection," I hold up a hand. "Nope. Not listening to that." Karen snaps. "You don't get to decide what rules apply. And you don't get to walk onto my property uninvited." I cut in. Her jaw tightens. "We can enter for compliance review. Not without notice." "We gave notice." "No," I say calmly, "you sent threats." The 2 board members look at each other. They're nervous. They weren't expecting pushback. Karen steps even closer. "We're documenting every refusal," she says. "Every violation, every obstruction. When this goes to enforcement, you'll regret making this harder than it needs to be." "Karen," I say, "you're overstepping." She takes a slow, deliberate breath. "I am the HOA president. I decide the scope of enforcement." I smile a little. "That's not how presidents work." She doesn't like that, not one bit. She turns to her board members. "Photograph everything, the boat, the dock, the trailer, the yard, get all of it. We're accelerating the action order." One guy lifts his phone. I step forward. Tom's voice echoes in my head. "Document everything." So I do. I raise my phone and hit record. The board member freezes mid-photo. Karen whips around. "Why are you recording us?" "Because," I say, "you just trespassed on camera." Her eyes widen just a flicker, but enough. She knows it, I know it, and she has a choice. Back off or blow up. She chooses blow up. "Fine," she snaps. If you won't comply, we'll take this to the next level. And the next level, apparently, meant something I never imagined, because the very next morning I woke up to someone pounding on my door at 5:42 a.m. The pounding is so loud it shakes the frame of the door. Not a polite knock, not a delivery knock. This is the kind of knock people use when something is on fire or when they want something to be on fire. I open the door, and there she is, Karen. Same stiff posture, same icy expression. But now she's wearing a neon vest like she's leading a construction site at sunrise. Behind her, two more board members I've never seen before, clipboards, cameras, matching vests. They look like a discount version of a federal inspection team. "Carl," she says, voice clipped, "you were scheduled for a 6 a.m. compliance action. We're starting early." I stare at her. "It's 5:42. We're within the enforcement window." "No, you're within the harassment window." She ignores that and gestures at the board members. "Photograph the entryway. Document the timestamp." One of them raises a camera and flashes it directly in my face like I'm being booked for a mugshot. I raise my phone and hit record again. Karen stiffens. "You cannot film us during an HOA operation." I smile. "Watch me." One of the new board members whispers, "Karen, should we maybe wait until—" "No," she snaps. "We're proceeding, he's non-compliant, the boat is oversized. The removal is already scheduled, we just need visual confirmation of refusal." I step out onto the porch. "Refusal of what exactly?" She flips her clipboard open and practically jabs it toward me. "This. The final notice." I read it. "It's worse than the last one. Daily noncompliance fines accruing at 6 a.m., mandatory removal of vessel, possible suspension of community privileges," and a line so bold it practically screams. "HOA will take possession of disputed property if necessary." I look up slowly. "Possession of my boat." Karen folds her arms. "If you won't cooperate voluntarily, yes." I let out a short laugh. "You think the HOA can seize a boat?" Her lips curl into a smug smile. "We can if it's part of an active enforcement case." This is no longer petty, no longer pushy, no longer annoying. This is an escalation strategy. And she's dead serious. And she proved it because what she did next was so outrageous, even the sheriff couldn't believe it. Karen doesn't argue, she doesn't shout. She just steps aside and points toward my driveway with a smug little flick of her wrist. "That," she says, "is how—" I turn, and I swear my stomach drops. Another tow truck. Bigger than the first one. Engine rumbling, hydraulic arms already lowering like hungry metal claws. The driver steps out, avoids eye contact, and says, "Ma'am, where's the vessel?" Karen points straight at my boat. "Right there." "Remove it," he hesitates. I was told this was approved by law enforcement." Karen's jaw tightens. "It is, proceed." I step between him and the ramp. "No, it's not." He looks trapped, like he wants to disappear into the asphalt. "Look," he says quietly, "I'm just following work orders. If you want me to stop, call the sheriff." Already done. But before I can even pull my phone out, Karen snaps her fingers at her board members. "Document his refusal," she barks. "He is obstructing an enforcement action." 3 cameras point at me like I'm the villain of the neighborhood. I raise my own phone and film back. Karen hates it. You can see it in the way her eye twitches like a glitching robot. "You are out of compliance, Carl," she shouts. "You are violating community standards. You are disrupting the aesthetic and safety standards of this neighborhood." I step closer, calm but firm. "And you," I say, "are trespassing again." One of her board members whispers, "Karen, maybe we should wait for—" "No," she snaps. "This is happening now," she waves at the tow truck. "Hook, THE boat." The driver swallows hard. He lifts the chain, takes one step, and that's when the sheriff's cruiser swings into my driveway so fast the gravel sprays. Door slams open. Sheriff Tom storms out with a face that could crack concrete. "All right," he says, voice booming. "What exactly is going on here now?" Karen whips around. "Sheriff, you need to remove him from the property." "No," Tom cuts her off. "Not this time." Silence. The tow truck driver freezes mid-step. The board members stop filming. Karen's face goes pale. Tom looks directly at her. "I told you to stop escalating. You ignored me. Now I'm stepping in." Karen's lips tremble with rage. "This is an HOA matter. And this," Tom says, "is officially a legal one." And that's when he said the one sentence that completely shattered Karen's confidence and changed everything. Tom steps forward, boots grinding into the gravel, and points directly at Karen's clipboard. "This entire operation is unlawful. Shut it down. Now." The words hit harder than a punch. Karen actually blinks like she didn't hear correctly. What do you mean, unlawful?" she stammers. Tom holds out his hand. "Your paperwork, all of it. Give it to me." Karen clutches the clipboard to her chest like it's a baby she's not handing over. "No," she snaps. "This is HOA business. You don't have jurisdiction over internal community proceedings." Tom takes one step closer. "Karen, last warning, give me the paperwork." The air goes dead silent. Even the tow truck driver takes a full step back. Finally, slowly, painfully, Karen hands it over. Her fingers shake as she releases it. Tom flips through the pages. His eyebrows rise. He flips more. His jaw tightens. Then he looks up at her with an expression that's half disbelief, half, "Are you serious right now?" "Karen," he says, voice low, "none of this is legal. This isn't how violations work. This isn't how notifications work. And you sure as hell don't have the authority to seize a private vehicle." "It's not a vehicle," she snaps. "It's a vessel," Tom raises a hand, "and still not your jurisdiction." Her face flushes bright red, not embarrassment, rage. "This is harassment," she spits. "You're taking his side." Tom shakes his head. "I'm taking the side of the law, and right now, that's not you." Karen looks like she's one breath away from combusting. "You're overstepping, Sheriff. The board empowered me to enforce these rules, and the law empowers me to shut you down when you abuse that power." Her mouth opens, but nothing comes out. Tom turns to the tow truck driver. "You're done here. Pack up." The driver doesn't hesitate. He's back in his truck before the sheriff finishes the sentence. Tom hands the clipboard back to Karen. "Go home, stop escalating, and don't step foot on his property again without legal cause." Karen's hands tremble as she takes it. Then Tom adds the sentence that completely wipes the color from her face. "Because from this point on, every move you make will be investigated." Her eyes widen. She finally realizes the situation has just flipped. Hard, but instead of backing down, Karen vanished for 24 hours, then came back with a plan that blindsided all of us. Karen doesn't argue, doesn't yell, doesn't even try to fire back. She just turns on her heel, marches to her SUV, slams the door, and peels out of my driveway like she's escaping gravity. And then silence. No emails. No notices. No board members creeping around. Nothing. 24 hours of total radio silence from a woman who normally sends 6 HOA reminders before breakfast. Tom calls me once during the day. "You heard from her?" he asks. "Nope." "Good, maybe she finally got the message." But something in his voice tells me he doesn't believe that. Neither do I. Karen isn't the type to retreat. She's the type to reload. By the next morning, the quiet is almost unnerving. Even the lake feels too calm, like it's waiting. At 9:14 a.m., my phone buzzes. A single text from an unknown number. "You forced my hand." Before I can even process it, I hear the sound, deep, industrial, mechanical. Engines, multiple. I step onto my porch and freeze. 2 black subs, 1 white panel van. All rolling down my driveway in a slow, unified line like a small convoy. The van door slides open. Out steps Karen, but not the usual HOA Karen. This version is different. Hair pulled tight, clipboard gone. Replaced with a full binder thick enough to break a foot if she dropped it. She looks composed, cold, prepared. And she's not alone. 3 people climb out behind her, matching jackets, matching badges clipped to their belts. Not the police. Not contractors, legal consultants. Karen walks right up to my porch, binder in her arms, and says, "Carl, effective immediately, we are initiating a formal environmental compliance and waterway impact review. You will grant access." I stare at her. "You're kidding." She opens the binder, shows a stack of documents an inch thick. "No," she says, "I told you I'd take this to the next level." She steps closer. "And I always do what I say." And what did those consultants try to pull on my dock next? That's when I realized Karen wasn't just fighting. She was going for total control. The consultants don't wait. They march straight past me, straight toward the dock, like they've already been briefed, trained, and promised overtime. "Hey," I call out. "You don't walk onto my property without permission." One of them turns, holding a laminated badge like it's a magic shield. "We're conducting an environmental impact assessment," he says. Tone, corporate. Face, blank. Attitude, pre-programmed. "For an HOA?" I ask. For the preservation of shared waterways, he corrects. I laugh once, sharp, disbelieving. Yeah, no, get off my dock. Karen steps beside him, binder open, finger on a page she clearly spent all night memorizing. Per section 22.4, she says, I have the authority to bring in outside evaluators when a homeowner's actions pose a risk to community resources. What risk? I snap. She doesn't blink. Your boat. One consultant waves a handheld meter over the water like he's in a sci-fi movie. Another kneels by my dock, taking photos like he's cataloging evidence for trial. The third stands back and brings out a measuring wheel, the kind contractors use on construction sites. He starts rolling it down my dock. I step between him and the edge. No measurements, not on my property. He pauses. Karen doesn't. Proceed, she orders. We're documenting everything. The guy hesitates, glances at Karen, then at me. I can see it in his eyes. He knows this is sketchy. But he's been hired, and Karen is pushing him like a drill sergeant with a quarterly deadline. I pull out my phone, hit record. The consultant's voice cracks slightly. Ma'am, if the homeowner is recording, maybe we should wait for... No waiting, Karen snaps. This is an active violation under review. She's losing control of her tone, and she knows it. She spins toward me. You must allow this inspection. No, I say. Try again. Her jaw flexes like she's chewing nails. Then she steps forward until she's inches from my face. If you obstruct this review, she hisses, I will escalate this to the county level. I smile. Great, do it. They'll love what I show them. Her eyes flicker with something new, fear. Because she finally realizes something. I'm not bluffing. I'm waiting. And she walked right into it. And just when Karen thought she had the upper hand, the consultants made one mistake, one tiny mistake that blew her entire operation apart. It happens fast. One of the consultants, the guy with the measuring wheel, steps off the dock to reposition his equipment, and his foot sinks straight into mud. Not water, not sand. Mud. He yanks his boot free, confused, and looks at the ground. Karen, he says, is this private shoreline? Karen freezes, just for a moment, too late. The second consultant, the one with the meter, checks his GPS tablet. His eyes widen. Wait, he says, turning toward Karen. This parcel, this entire dock area, it's not HOA jurisdiction. The third consultant looks up from his camera. Yeah, these coordinates show no shared boundaries. This is individually deeded land. Karen snaps her head toward him. No, it's a shared easement. It's in the documents. He flips through his notes, shakes his head. No, it's not. The HOA doesn't have a registered easement here. Not according to county records. Karen's face drains of color. That can't be right. The consultants exchange looks, uncomfortable ones, ones that say we were hired for something we shouldn't be touching. I fold my arms. Sounds like you should verify before continuing your little inspection. The measuring wheel guy clears his throat. We need to stop. If this is private property, anything we record could be tossed out or worse. Karen snaps. Keep working. But the first consultant stands firm. No, we need legal clarification before we do anything else. He turns to me. Sir, we apologize for the intrusion. Karen whips toward him like he betrayed her family. You can't stop. This investigation is authorized. It's not, the consultant says calmly, not without jurisdiction. That word hits her like a slap. Jurisdiction. She hates it. She turns back to me, voice sharp, shaking with fury. You're manipulating them? No, I say. They just checked your math. The consultants close their binders. One by one, professional, polite, done. They head back to the van. Karen watches them leave, fists clenched so tight her knuckles go white. Then she spins toward me with a voice that cracks under the pressure. This isn't over, Carl. Oh, I know, I say. But it's definitely turning. And within the hour, something landed in my inbox, something that didn't just turn things. It blew the entire situation wide open. The consultant's van is barely out of sight when my phone buzzes. One new email. Subject line, records request urgent response required. Not from Karen, not from the HOA, not from the consultants. It's from the county clerk's office. For a second I think it's spam, but the email address is legit. The signature is official. I open it, and my eyebrows shoot up. They want documents, my documents specifically. My property boundary map, my deed, my shoreline rights, paperwork, any record of HOA easements, all requests. are due to a discrepancy identified in a recent jurisdictional inquiry. A discrepancy. I smile without meaning to. The consultants didn't just back off, they reported it. Karen accidentally triggered the county to check her authority. Not mine. I scroll down, and then I see it. A scanned copy of a county map I've never seen before. Bold red circle, highlighted lines, my property, my shoreline, my dock. And in the notes column, privately owned. No HOA easements recorded, no shared access. No enforcement rights. I read it twice, 3 times. Then I forward it to Sheriff Tom. He calls me immediately. "You just got this?" he asks. "Yep." "Carl," he pauses like he's choosing his words carefully. "This means she's been operating without jurisdiction the whole time." "Looks like it." "This is serious," he says. "She could get hit with multiple violations, overreach, harassment, false enforcement. You need to save everything. Every email, every threat, every visit." I look out at the lake, the calm water, my dock, my boat, already on it. Tom exhales. This might actually be the end of it. But before I can answer, another sound vibrates through the air. A car engine, fast, angry, pulling into my driveway with way too much force. I look up. And of course it's Karen. Hair frazzled, papers flying in her hand, face red like she's sprinted through a volcano. She storms toward me, shouting before she's even out of the car. "What did you do?" And what she accused me of next. Yeah, that's when the whole thing officially went off the rails. Karen barely shuts her car door before she's pointing papers at me like they're weapons. "What did you do?" she screams. "You triggered a county review? You filed a complaint?" "I didn't file anything." "Don't lie to me." "The county emailed me too. They're asking for OUR maps, OUR permits. Do you understand what this means?" I nod. "Oh yeah, it means they're checking your jurisdiction." She freezes, that word again. Her whole facade cracks. "You tricked them. You made me look incompetent. You did that yourself." "You don't get it, Carl," she shouts. "If they pull jurisdiction, the board will blame me. They'll remove me. Everything I built is gone." Ah, there it is. The truth behind all her chaos. This was never about the boat, never about the rules. It was about her power, her identity, her control, and she's losing it. "You ruined everything," she spits. "No," I say softly. "You did." She stares, shaking, furious, terrified, and then bolts for her car, speeding away like the world is collapsing behind her. And honestly, it kind of is. Because when the county inspector showed up the next day, the truth didn't just come out, it detonated. If you're ready for the full fallout from Karen's meltdown, hit like, drop a comment about your worst HOA experience, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next chapter.